Battlefield 6 is a military shooter, but what if you don't get to shoot our guns? Are we still able to finish the game? I'll assume you don't know that, but I'll show you it'll be interesting, even if you don't succeed at the challenge. Let's take a peek.
In arm's reach.
We begin our story in Georgia, the country, not the state. Our mission is to pick up a dinosaur and get attacked by Pax Armada, who try to get intel on something by capturing our servers, which we obviously don't want to happen. After running through some explosions, we have our first enemy encounter. Martinez throws us a rifle to take out the enemy forces, which we kindly disregard in favor of our knife, and run like a berserker towards the Pax soldiers. Somehow our squad takes out most of the guys before I can even get through them. After another cheeky explosion, we are getting picked up by some of our guys and are set into the gunner's position. Great, it seems like we got to one enemy and the challenge is already over. Well, let's see how far we can get. The first wave of enemies get to us and we just drive past them.
Hello?
Yeah, the entire drive is just on tracks, and all the Pax forces are actually just stormtroopers who escaped from Star Wars. Next up is a romantic rendezvous with his sniper squad, to where we should take out a convoy in front of this construction site harboring our servers. Which doesn't sound that bad, but we also got handed that thing, a laser designator. Now, that's not a knife, but it also isn't a gun either. That being said, it only shoots light and makes other guys shoot metal at the Pax forces. But if there's a way around it, I'd like to avoid it. And you may or may not know that previous Battlefield games, they are a bit janky in certain ways. For example, Battlefield 3. In most maps you can escape from the mission's boundary. Mainly because you're always on the map and there are zones you're not allowed to be in, instead of being zones that allow you to be in. And in theory, if you can escape those boundaries, you can just melee them. I did try to escape, but it did not work. It seems like Battlefield 6 built their walls a bit better than previous entries of the franchise. And even if you escape, you still have to come back to the scripted event. So let's just spit light towards them. Finally, we get to use our knives to secure the servers by blowing them up. Spoilers! We get inside, plant C4, get to the roof, hold our position and exfil with a helo. And right after we get shot down in the helo, we find ourselves defending the crashed helicopter. Welcome to the next challenge. Now what you're supposed to do is to fight off Pax and let the squad bite the dust one by one. The issue is, you're not supposed to bite the dust yourself. It seems like the game isn't scripted, that you have to kill anyone, but it also seems like it's not to be scripted in a way that your hitbox is special, which means using the multiplayer tactics to keep a low profile makes AI in-game also have a harder time hitting you, and also do this dance. Now I either got really lucky or the game is scripted, to make it more easy to succeed in this section after you died, because it took less time to finish the entire shootout than it took time for the first guy to even get shot. And we just cleared mission 1 with 0 bullets being shot. Off to Gibraltar. The next mission is called The Rock. We now play as Gecko. We get dropped out of an airplane, get handed a sniper rifle and oh joy. Right as we get to our first lookout point, we get a task to take out everybody at this checkpoint. Now we can move around. We can also walk quite far without mission failing. And now that's unexpected. Nothing stops us from getting right into Pax's faces. Well, all but one. This gunner is a small hurdle, but once you get to the next checkpoint, he seemingly just gets cooked. We then have to again get into Pax's faces until we have to get to this radar tower. Here's where you normally assist the squad you were already assisting, to get into a radar building to blow it up. Once up in the tower, there's no going back. So is there a way to get around the whole thing? The short answer is no. But the long answer is the squad on foot and Carter, your squad leader, can take out most Pax enemies right after you push Carter into a spot to be able to shoot over the railing. But then Carter also tells you to take out the sniper opposite to you. Now Now, Kara is a bit old, as we can see, and has some trouble getting close to shooting the sniper. He sometimes does shoot towards the sniper, but usually misses them, and immediately tries to fire non-existing demons. And even after a bunch of time, he seems to miss constantly. Or at the very least, the sniper guy does not get damaged by him. I also did try to escape the tower, but did not succeed. The sniper definitely has some kind of aimbot though, because that dude can shoot your legs right as they pop out of the radar tower, if glitched through. All that being said, you have to shoot this guy yourself.
Okay, I'm giving up.
Then a gunner, but not his buddy somehow. They only get attacked by your team after the gunner is a gunner, but there's also a dude with an RPG getting hit with the same fate. Next up is disabling some anti-airs. Getting there is the easy part, but blowing them up is way harder. Do you remember when I said anything is allowed but things that fling metal fast? Yeah, we can't get around blowing those things up, even if we bait the PAX forces with RPGs to shoot you. The truck gets destroyed, but the AAs keep going somehow. Your knife also does not seem to phase the AA whatsoever. But luckily there is a demolition charge. I mean, you don't fling metal to kill someone, you're just placing some plastics somewhere, right? And that is basically it for that mission. We're off to the next mission, Operation Gladius. We're back being Murphy, meeting our new magically worse friend Lopez. This will be a nightmare. Sorry, I'm taking it away. We hop into an LAV and swim to the beach. There are mines in the water, but we can safely ignore them. We then beach on the beach and watch the carnage unfold. But this time, this isn't your Joe average Disney theme park ride. You can actually blow up. The only way to get around this is to wipe out those 4 guys bombarding you. As we continue, we hit similar spots, but this time we don't have to blow them up. It just happens by itself. As we get further onto the airport, at around 5 minutes in, we meet a bunch of infantry with RPGs. And as we find out, no, you can't just wait for them to perish, because if you don't get to them first, you'll start at the beginning of the mission again. To be able to storm the airport, you have to pop 50 more RPGs into RPG heaven. Once back inside the LAV, Lopez is treating our people we just picked up from the streets. But that also teleports us to the multiplayer. Nice Easter egg, I guess. Luckily, it's mostly uneventful. But I did have a bug where my team did not want to follow me to clear some of those buildings. And I had to get creative to get rid of those guys in the windows up there. If you have played the multiplayer, you'll think that should be easy. But no, the stairs cannot be used to get up there. The solution? Get a physics object stuck on this overhang that usually gets destroyed if you try to hop on inside. That was my first try, and I did not even know that you can't stand on that. But after trying a bunch more times, I got the hang of it. Now, why would I try to do it a bunch more times? Well, first, it's kind of funny to see the AI need a step stool to shoot out of the window. And secondly, you can get in the back of the buildings where you will pass by later and survey the area without a bunch of enemies. I did have the thought that you could pop the tank early. That might spawn less people and make the traversal in the alley a bit more easy, but that wasn't the case though. Placing C4 and blowing the tank up early does make it moderately more relaxing though. Also, the pathing of our tank is scripted. That's kind of interesting, and it might be the kind of interesting thing you might want to subscribe to this channel for if you want to see more of those weird hidden things in game. Anyway, further along in the mission, we get to see our big baddie whom we are trying to catch, but he gets away, so we are off to Egypt. We start Night Raid in a car with our nice driver, who will definitely survive the mission. We pick a lock and get into the sewers. All you do is sneak through some alleyways, stab a bunch of guys, take a finger with you, run through a burning building, let the driver get shot, get stuck trying to fight off a helicopter. The first idea was to try to make the helicopter crash, but yeah, that did not work whatsoever. The helicopter is solely focused on cargo. Now, the helicopter is flying low, so I tried to climb some buildings to potentially be able to melee the pilot or the helicopter itself, but didn't find a way to do so. After some persuasion with an unguided missile launcher, we've just added another necessary shot, which has to be taken to finish the challenge. You may think we're playing The Division. No, this is still Battlefield. Welcome to No Sleep. Our guys found some PAX forces and want us to get rid of them due to a NATO meeting in New York City. We run through a bunch of residential buildings, taking down some of the PAX guys and blowing up a wall. The radar thingy gets deployed and we're tasked to give cover to some of our friendly squads. Now, you may think this is just like Mission 2, The Rock, but no, it gets worse. Once you're on the roof, you're all by yourself. You can't melee the PAX that are right across the green space between the buildings. You can also not run over there due to the mission limits, and you don't have someone on your squad shooting back. But we do have a brain. Anytime you go down by being shot by the enemies, your squad mates try to revive you. In which case, they actually ignore the task at hand and run towards you. And after 40 seconds, Carter comes to the rescue and immediately shoots across the relaxation area. I don't know if this is a bug, that the squad doesn't follow you, just like in Mission 3 Operation Gladius, or if this is just resetting the intentions of one of your squad mates. But luckily, he is at least shooting somewhere. Sure, we know that Carter may not be the best shot in the world, but after some swift admiring of the rooftops and some cozy corners, Carter eliminates all enemies. It only took 2.5 minutes. Look at him, he's getting better. Let's not lose that talent. We find a hidden trapdoor, ignore the booby traps, and end up in the New York subway. After bonking some people, we find...
Is that a train or a tank?
We follow the train for a while, until we crash. But get picked up by helicopter and fly to a bridge with a crashed train. No idea what happened, because I skipped the cutscene, but I'd like to imagine that it was one of those big New York City rats. We bonk a bunch of people and disable the transmitters in an interesting way. Of course, the game really tries to give us my gun back, but obviously we switched back to the hammer right away. We did not just shoot that guy, I still had my hammer in hand. Those are some Metro-esque anomalies. And we hop into the drink. Finally, a second mission where we did not have to shoot someone.
That wall isn't that clear.
Something, big boom in New York City, whatever! Our new task is to protect the president. I'll make it quick. Honestly, nothing is happening in this mission. We bonk people, we find the president in a firefighting station and get him renamed into Everest. The helicopters picking up Everest get popped, and we have to destroy the drone launching infrastructure that has probably been brought in by those trains from before. We then have to defend the beast, well, the limo that with Everest in it, and end up in the metro once again. We run to the next station, get downed right at the end, crawl to the next checkpoint and get revived by our squad mates and not have to deal with the enemies. We see the sun again and fight our way to Everest. Defending the area, get jumped by the big bad Irish or Scottish guy, I don't know. It's a part of those islands there. Also, Everest is safe and Carter's gone. Womp womp. But guess what? There's no need to fling metal at high speeds in this mission. And we're off to the Nile guard. Welcome to the mission in which you're seated in a tank for the most part. I'll spoil the outcome of the mission right away. 0 shots have been fired. Yeah, no joke. Luckily you're not alone in this mission and there are a bunch of tanks and helicopters on your side. And by ramming them and almost turtling the enemies, you can experience how one of our friendly helicopters gets shot down and you get to pick one of them back up. Honestly, this mission felt like a filler, not gonna lie. But I guess you had to drive a tank in a mission to be different to Call of Duty. Welcome to Tajikistan. Sure, I might be ignorant, but this looks sick. You first impressed the not-so-local locals with some of Gecko's drone droppings. I did try to run them over with the drone, but did not succeed. I don't think that those droppings fling metal fast on purpose, right? The rest was pretty much the same though. Poke people, disable the alarm, or forget to do so, and pop data links. But then we get to the switchblade, and I really did not want to use them. But first, what even happens? There are some convoys coming towards you, and you are supposed to use those high-speed drones to wipe the vehicles out, one by one. But I tried my luck with poking the people inside the trucks. And somehow I'm as strong as Steve's punches in Minecraft. Because once the driver and the gunners are down, the vehicle explodes. One was not possible to pop like that, which was the tank. I also didn't have any more C4 sadly, but someone on the dev team luckily placed some resupply boxes, with 3 of them. Lopez lost his mind for a sec and we had to repeat the same. Wait, there's a helicopter now. Well, you can wait for the rest of the convoy to catch up and get rid of them, and the helicopters will not kick you to the home screen. But the challenge was still present. How are you able to get rid of those stationary helicopters? You can't get close to them because the playable area is limiting you on that. I also can't throw C4 that far. I also have 3 left. And I really don't want to restart the entire mission just to have 1 more with me. So I did some experimenting. I did not want to use the drone droppings in case you personally think that those fling metal a little too fast. But honestly, I also didn't know if that could even damage the helicopters. So I placed some of my precious C4 on the drone to see if I can fly it over to them. The drone can actually carry it, though you can feel the weight of it. Actually impressive, but that does present a challenge. Not only that, but flying the drone out of a playable area also disables it after the timer ran out and lets the C4 just fall. Now, it sadly does not stick to the helicopter, so I had to time it just right. Especially after this failed attempt, leaving me with only 2 more. I also did not know if they can take down the helicopters and if I potentially need more than 1 per helicopter. There's only one way to find out, I guess. I flew as fast as I could, I rammed into the helicopter and immediately switched to the detonator. Well, that does not look good. It popped on the heli, but the health bar of it is kind of mocking me right now. But somehow it did decide to just give up, which meant the next approach for the other helicopter had to be perfect. So I patiently waited for the drone to respawn and lined up the next approach and made the second helicopter land. I may or may not have panicked and randomly shot my pistol, but we'll just ignore that, please. I also found a bunch of floating rocks, by the way, which you can hide in. Well, next up was to bring down the entire dam. And if you don't count those drone droppings as flinging metal at high speeds, I would say I did it. Welcome to the final mission. It is more of the same. Run super fast to get downed, wait to get revived while the entire squad is miles away, and meet a jet. Now what you're meant to do is to use a stinger to take down the jet, but that really just is flinging metal fast. So I tried it with grenades, again and again and again. Then I thought maybe my timing is just too imprecise. Let's switch it to the grenade launcher to see if it's even possible to not use the stinger. And I failed again and again. Now it might be because my timing was really bad, but after about 10 minutes I gave up and did it the way it was intended. We then infiltrated some of the missile silos and experienced a friendly squad fail at it. Womp womp.
It's not even that big, bro.
And we had one last lunch with the red-haired baddie. Nighty night.
What's wrong with you?
Just don't get us down. He was reaching.
And as we fly away into the sunset, I'll present to you the final score of 24 people, or 28 of having flung metal faster than you can pitch a baseball to put to sleep the PAX forces. I hope you enjoyed the challenge, I certainly did. If you have any recommendations on what challenge you want me to do next, or other games you want me to see covered, I'd love to hear from you and down in comments below. Else, I'm glad you took a peek into my first video, and if it surprised you, you're more than welcome to subscribe and potentially even ring the bell. I'll see you take another peek into one of my future videos next time soonish. Stay curious. Bye.